What's happening, people? What's going on? Yes. People was like, Rev, where you been? It's been a minute. Well, I am happy to announce. I don't know if y'all knew about what I was doing. I also brought down my. I know people are gonna talk about me. I know. It's all right. I'm good with that though. I'm used to being talked about, especially when it comes to my candy corn. I grew up. My grandfather. So my grandfather was a candy corn man, and he had candy corn in the house down south all the time. But he had it, and I do it too. But he had it with his candy corn and peanuts. I don't know if that's the way you guys eat, or if you eat candy corn. I know a lot of people don't eat candy corn, and they're always on me and talking about me about candy corn. But anyway, so people was asking where I was at, where I've been, and if you don't know, like I said, we found this young lady. Found out that here I am looking in Minneapolis because that was her last location. Come to find out, she's at the Super 8 in Brooklyn Park. They made enough money to be able to get a room for a little bit. So that's where she's at. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I got a phone call about a week and 3 days ago of this mother or grandmother. Sorry, I said mother, but it is the grandmother. I don't know why my phone keeps going off because I want to play you guys something, and I'm doing my best to try to keep it to where it's at so we can listen to it. But anyway, so the grandmother. That's who I spoke to. I have not spoke to the mother and the father. All the information that I got is from the grandmother. But anyway, this young lady is from Becker. Come to find out, she's on drugs, and also come to find out she is pregnant. They got a hold of me because I know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, so they gave them my number and say, I'm going to need you to reach out to this man here because he does a lot of work in the Twin Cities, and he does a lot of work with, and y'all know, with the homeless. And maybe he could track her down. Maybe he could find her. But she has been found. I'm just going to let you know right now. Yes, she has been found. So we got her. I am now waiting for a phone call from her and the guy that she's with. Okay. And I'm not going to, until I know what I know from the grandmother, the information that I have, but I've got to find out information from her to see what's right and what's not right. Because 99.9% of the times, when you're in a situation that she's in, and sometimes because the grandmother, she's not really, really into how these people move and what these people do. And the grandma's like, I don't think she's on drugs. No, Grandma, I hate, like I told her, I hate to be the one to say this to you. And I hate to be the one to give you this information, but I can guarantee you that she is on drugs. Grandmother don't want to believe that she is, but like I told her, Grandma, I can guarantee you that she is. There is no doubt about that. But this young lady is pregnant. She's due in January. Sorry. I got my J's messed up there for a second. So my job now is, like I said, The only way we can get her now is to wait until she calls me, because they move around so much that they can't keep in touch with her the way they wanted to. So that is what I've been doing. That's why I haven't been on here, and I did a live a couple of times to show you where I was at, show you what I was doing, but I have not been here for a while because that's basically what we've been doing. We have literally been out searching for this young lady because, again, she's pregnant and she's on the streets and she's running with somebody. Information from her grandmother now. Information from her grandmother. But she's running with somebody that is not good to her. And we have to do everything we can to either get him straight or get her away from him. And like I told her grandmother, we've got to get her away from him. I've seen this play out so many. We have seen this play out so many times, and it always somewhat ends the same way. And like I told her grandmother, we got to be prepared for this. I went through the whole gamut with her because I can tell she's green. Now you say, well, where's the mom and dad? Okay, I have not had an opportunity to speak with the mom and dad yet. I will be doing that. The mom and dad are pretty much decompressing because they have been through so much. They have spent so much money to try to help their daughter that they are literally they're at a point where they can't do anything anymore. They don't have the energy, and that's another thing. People don't realize, like when you have a kid, your child that you birth, and you want awesome things for, and when these kids go on drugs like this, y'all don't even realize. And somebody out there who understands what I'm saying, I wish you would come in my comments and say, Rev, I understand what you're saying right now. But you don't realize how much energy it takes to have a child on drugs. I don't think I've seen people. I like I told you before. I've had to look mothers in the face and say, you have to go with me, right? You have to go with me. Hey, Chaz, do you still got my link or not? Why don't you, I don't know what you're doing tonight, but why don't you hop on, man? If you still got the link, come on, man. Yeah, if you got the link, come on, dude. Hank, jump on. Let's chop it up for a little bit. But parents go through this. I don't know if you ever watched. I watched this show called Intervention. You ever watch that show? The reason I watched the show is not because of the people. I watched the show to see how you deal with, how families deal, how the construct of dealing with. That's why I watch that show. I watch that show all the time for that very reason. So when I'm in this situation that I'm in right now, I have tools because there is nothing out there for, and this is what pisses me off, right? These are the things that pisses me off about our system, about the people in the system, and about the lying ass people who say they do things for people in this system. For a person like myself, don't get paid. I ain't never made a dime out of this thing. But I still look at it and say it would be nice for the government to have some type of class, right? Some type of classes, some type of resources for somebody like me, where I can go in and I can learn. Now, when I go meet this young lady, because everything I've learned, honestly, has been either on my own from that show Intervention, or I've just, like I said, reading, just picking up books on how to deal with drug addicts, how to deal with homeless people. I've done all of this on my own. There's been no government system out there that would help somebody who's going to help other people. Nothing. And that's the problem. And here's the point that people always talking about what the government does. And, oh, Biden does this, and Trump does this, and Obama does this, and Bush does this. They don't do a damn thing, people. These are the things. This is why I get on here and people get mad at me because, well, oh, you're not a Republican? Hell no. You're not a Democrat? Hell no. Because none of them do anything for the very people that they swear up and down out of that Bible. That's why I keep telling y'all. Y'all can read the Bible. I do the Bible. I don't just read my Bible and then walk out the door and I feel good about myself because I read the Bible a couple times. No. What's in that book is what I do. Your government don't do what they're supposed to do. They don't. They're not out here helping these people. Do I still use even? No, Chaz, you don't. Oh, here you go. Hold on, bro. Hold on. Got you right here. Look at you.
Hey,
Look at you.
I just sent you a message.
What's up, cuz? What up?
How you doing?
I'm good, my brother. If
Feeling
y'all
all
don't
right.
know who this is Chaz Neal, the urban conservative. So if y'all ain't following him, y'all need to be on with this brother. Y'all need to be on with this brother. I was just going over a little bit to the people and explaining to the people that for somebody like ourselves, there are no services out there if we want to go help people, right? I mean,
No.
really, the government really don't, and we are the people. Look, so you've got the Somalians who have literally stole. Let's make sure we understand what I just said. And I'm not pulling no punches right now.
Right.
They stole taxpayers' money.
Right.
All right. I mean, if I'm wrong, say, Rev, you're wrong in what you're saying.
That's the crazy part is that you're not even wrong. It's because I can remember when me and Ashley were staying in the hotels and we were going through that housing. I don't know, it was through Sabathany, and they were supposed to be helping us try to find housing, but it was crazy of going to the organizations that were supposed to be trying to help people get housing, and it was always the people that didn't have the resources or the organizations behind them to put the people into places, and it was crazy because I remember that is going to these organizations and not getting no help because I would go downtown and take the showers and do all the stuff like that, but the only people that really would help it was either you or it was other people that weren't linked to nonprofits or linked to the county or the city.
Right. And I say that because all of that money that's sitting over in a third world right now, all of that money could have, like, I should be able to go to a system in our government and say, I've got a young lady who is pregnant right now. I need to get her in some type of facility to help. But right now, I need some cash in my pocket so I can feed her, so I can make sure she's got a place to take a shower, so she can take a bath and things of that sort. We don't have that. But yet and still, this government, Tim Walz, Peggy, and everybody else who's involved, let millions of dollars leave this state, and they have not answered for that at all. And here we are, got our people. Right. And people can say what they want to me tonight. I really, really don't care, because I'm pissed that I can't help this lady the way that I really wish I could. And I'm pissed. Go ahead.
Makes me sad is that I see stories of domestic violence or situations like on East Lake Street where the mass shooting was at earlier. And
exactly.
I think about, because if you look at, I can't think of her name right now, but the lady who died yesterday in the domestic violence, she put out videos, she put out posts, you know what I'm saying, looking for help. And it's crazy how it's actually right there, and how many stories we have to sit here and go over and over, and we could have did something, but we don't have the actual resources or even know the people to get people in the right spots. And it's always some extra red tape, or it's always some BS story that you hear. Oh, we can't do this. Our hands are tied. What do you mean you're a lawmaker? What do you mean your hands are tied?
Right. And it makes no sense. And speaking of that lady, like you were saying, this woman cried out for help. Right. So I want to make sure people understand that. And because there was no resources there for her, and I'm going to go back. I'm going to keep saying, you're going to hear me say throughout the night, because of the way the Democrats have felt that they needed to run this state. The Democrats have overlooked a lot of people in need. They have. For another group of people, because they think here's what people don't understand about what's happening. The Democratic Party decided to sell out their right to a group of people for power. That's all that's about, right? That's about power. If we use these people like we've used everybody else, but if we use this group of people, yeah, we got to give them money. We got to give them houses. We got to give them cars. We got to give them land. We got to give them all of this stuff. We got to give them St. Louis Park. That's what they did.
Right. Cedar Riverside.
Yep. But in the end, we still stay in power. We still rule Minnesota. Right? And not only that, we'll take these people and put them in red districts so we can start taking over. And the Republicans are not seeing this, right? They're not seeing this until it's going to be. Dude, like I told you, I went up to Bloomington, Richfield. And them people in Richfield are so up. They didn't see it coming.
Right.
And now they're about to be taken over. They're going to be the next with a Somalian mayor. You watch. I'm not kidding you. That's about to happen. And and they're going to keep moving out. But what did that do for us? Right? Nothing. Matter of fact, it actually hurts us, because here we are talking about helping our people, right? If we're going to talk America first, hey, and I know people sit there and go, well, they are American too. Really? Then I want the Democrats to act like they're American too. Have them hurt just like they got us hurting. Like I said, man, no, not today, man. I'm not even holding back. Not today. Because the Democrats are doing things that's pissing me. Not that the Republicans, they ain't doing shit.
Right.
Period. That right now, what they're doing is running around here starting trouble.
I'll put it like this. I feel like the Republicans right now are being like, who was that? The werewolf story. Jack cried wolf so many times. I look at Walter, and it's like, you say that you had death threats or whatever, and then it was a lobbyist at the state, and it's like, come on,
Yeah.
I'm sure he has your home address. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
and I don't really get how these people say they're scared, and it's like, where do they come from? Because how can you be scared over words, over something, over like you can obviously tell they've never been in jail, they never had their uh where their next meal is going to come from, and it's crazy trying to talk to these people because it's so many. They want to talk about racism, but honestly, I don't really feel like it's that anymore. It's so much other stuff that it's not even really racism anymore, because they can talk about calling us the N word or and all that, but you look at and I don't mean but this to go on the gun violence thing. You look at Minneapolis, they had 2 people killed on Sunday. They had 6 people shot today. They're not talking about that because that happened in areas they don't care about.
No, we're gonna get into that in a second, because I was just this morning. I had 3 boxes that I went and dropped off right there on Lake and right there on Lake in Stevenson, right where the shooting happened. I drove down there, dropped off the boxes. I didn't stay and hang out. I was like, I'm not even in the mood. I just dropped the boxes off and I left. Come to find out, there's a mass shooting.
Right. And the crazy thing that really bothers me about this is that there's a public safety center not even that far away. So how can you have a mass shooting, multiple, within the last 10 days? They've had so much happen in that little area, but yet they have a public safety center over there. And there's a violence interruption building right over there. So what's going on? It's like, you don't care about that area. You're letting stuff go on so that we can have stuff like the blue line come in when they can take over North Minneapolis. And that's all it is. They want to get back to an area that is make money and not care about the people anymore.
It's sad. Hey, I'm going to play this. I'm going to see if I can play this clip. The Democrats. So the Democrats decided to try to put together this work group, right? Have you been watching that?
Yeah, I watched that today.
Okay. So the Democrats, which is going to, basically nothing's going to come of it. Let's be real, right? But they just want to hobnob and try to make a bunch of noise. So I'm going to try to play this clip here.
Today I'm presenting a bill to ban assault weapons
And
and high-capacity magazines in Minnesota. This legislation addresses a narrow but deadly category of firearms that have repeatedly been used in mass shootings. And
Can we hear that?
Devastation and death
I can
in
hear it.
seconds. By restricting access to these firearms, we can make meaningful progress in reducing gun violence and saving lives. I will briefly walk through the bill, Mr. Chair. Starting August 1st, 2026, this bill makes it illegal to make, import, sell, or own or possess the following guns: large capacity magazines, those that hold more than 10 rounds, .50 caliber or larger firearms, semi-automatic military-style assault weapons, also known as SEMSAWs, and undetectable firearms, those that can't be picked up by metal detectors. The bill also makes exceptions for certain groups to possess these guns if they're doing their job: police officers, members of law enforcement, members of the U.S. military, and licensed firearm manufacturers and dealers, only if they are selling them to law enforcement and military. Registering it, the bill also makes it required for folks to register these guns with the BCA starting January 1st, 2027. And if they are going to keep it, they have to notify their local law enforcement, renew their registration every 3 years, and store it securely. These guns can't be sold or transferred. And if folks don't want to keep them anymore and they currently legally own it, they have to turn it over to the BCA for it to be destroyed. The bill also, this also applies to folks who inherit these types of guns. There are some penalties associated with this piece of legislation: 5-year felony. It can carry up to a felony, up to 5 years in prison, $25,000, or both. And the BCA may charge a registration fee as well.
So yeah, I may not be a Charlie Kirk fan, but anybody else?
All of that she just said is bullshit. everything this woman just said is flat bullshit. Let's call it what it is. See, what the Democrats like to do is call these little powwows and put themselves on record of trying to say we're going to throw out the most outrageous types of gun control there is.
Right.
And we're going to try to hook the Republicans because they know the Republicans are not going to go along with this crap. So now I can go ahead.
No, because I thought that. And then listening this morning to that, because Ashley was here when it first started, and we were listening to that together. And she started crying because, they had some of the parents up there. And then I think one of them was a nurse or whatever. But sitting there talking about their experience and she was crying, and I was like, damn, I think there actually might potentially get one or two. I think they will. That's my view.
I got $10. I got $10 on that, Chad.
Oh, and I'll take you up on that.
All right.
I can honestly tell you, because in my area, I'm in southern Minnesota, and maybe you really don't know, but Austin, Minnesota is in the news right now. There's a teacher down there was saying all kind of stuff, post about Charlie Kirk. Right. Now, watch what happens, because this is not only just in Minneapolis and St. Paul. You're going to see other little school districts that had these people that were making, let's say, celebratory posts about Charlie Kirk's death, that were teachers and school executives or people that worked in the political party for the DFL.
Right. They so right now, what are they sitting at? 66, 67, or are they tied?
No, I don't. They're not. I know they're not tied, because Melissa Hortman's seat, that election is tomorrow.
Okay.
Between the Lee guy, I think his name is, and then I don't even know who the Republican candidate is out there, because to be honest, I really don't believe it really matters.
Yeah, it don't matter. It don't matter.
It doesn't, and I know they're pushing it really heavy on X or whatever, but I don't even know who it is or whatever who's running Republican, but I don't think they have a chance.
They're not winning in Hennepin County, and I don't know what it's going to take for the Republicans to realize and understand that if you don't make a dent in Hennepin County, it's over. I don't care what you say about how red the state is and all this here. That ain't where the votes are, and it's never going to happen that that's the same thing with. I've been doing some research on this Phil Parrish gentleman. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
No, give me your honest opinion, because I know that when you were with Brad, that was like the only reason why I even thought of voting that way was because of you, to be honest. Because I've met Brad, not even with you. He was in Rochester and met with some people from Wabasha, Wabasha County, and I got a bad vibe then from him. And me and Robert have talked about that. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, Robert said some things to me. Yeah. So I get where you're coming from with that. Do I think Phil could make a dent? Apparently he's won all of the straw polls. Right. So if the endorsement was to go out today, I guess Phil Parrish would get it.
From my understanding, he's not even going for the endorsement. He doesn't even care about that. He's bypassing that completely. He's going automatically straight to the governor's race next November.
Really?
He's not even going for the primary. Yep, he's not going for the primary. He doesn't even want
I did not know that.
See, that's my whole thing, because in 2022 I was with Scott Jensen. Mark and Todd went everywhere with this man. South Minneapolis, they went on the bus with him all over Minnesota. And when Scott put his hat back in there, his name back in there, I felt like, I'm gonna be honest, he wasn't the right candidate, and he still isn't to me.
Chess, who else was there? It couldn't be it was him or Kendall.
Right. Kendall Qualls.
I get. I like Kendall. I like Kendall's wife, but and I even called. I mean, Kendall will tell you. Kendall's wife will tell you this election. I called Kendall up, and I said, "Are you going to get in the race?" I said, because if you're going to, I will get behind you. This is before Brad called me.
Right.
So I said, you know what? I want to check the temperature. And I got together some black preachers, and I mentioned Kendall's name.
Yeah.
And they said, no way in hell would we vote for Kendall Qualls. You know, because Kendall Qualls went around with that whole black man, black shit. There's no black man in the homes and the CRT crap. Kendall, and I was willing to overlook that. Hope, going, maybe Kendall has changed. But then I heard he hasn't. I heard he's out here doing the same crap that he did before. He's the only candidate that feels he's got to talk about the black community when his ass don't even come in the black community, when his ass don't even do anything about the black community, and the black community will not vote for him. Right. Now, I was thinking maybe he would call me up and say, Rev, I want to get into the black community. I want to make a difference. I want to do, but he's out here in Rocks and Cows, tap dancing for these white folks, trying to get their vote. So Phil Parrish right now is the only one.
Right. And that's how I feel, because when you have conversations, well, I shouldn't say conversations because I've had them mostly with Robert or whatever, but reading through his stuff on his website, and to be honest, he seems to me like the only person out of all the candidates to even do with the fraud and the waste is that he would take it serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, he would go above and beyond to do the right thing. And I don't get that from Jensen. I don't get that from Qualls. I don't get that from Robin, because they've all been in that system, that same system for so long and haven't done nothing.
Yeah.
That's even with Walter and them, they think that, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. What do you mean? You haven't done nothing for the last 4 years. Why should we expect anything right now within what the Democrats have done? And then maybe you guys make it a little bit better, but not really, because we haven't did a dent in the 2022 yet.
That's right.
2023.
If the Republicans don't put up a good candidate this go around and they lose, it's over. Right. I'm gonna say stick a fork in the Republican Party.
I can tell you this, that if Omar Fattah wins in Minneapolis in November, and the girl, Kahoe, wins in St. Paul, you can kiss Minnesota goodbye.
Oh, thank you very much. I've right? I have been saying that, and people are not listening. And then what's going to happen, all the people that feels that they live so far away from the Twin Cities that it doesn't matter, it's going to matter. It's and I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know what it's going to take for these people to open their eyes and realize that Socialist Party is a danger to this state altogether. No ifs, no ands, no buts.
Right. I mean, even what the Feminist Caucus is doing right now, I mean, it to me, and I don't have nothing against Taylor. I don't have nothing against Wedge Live, because to be honest, that's where I get a lot of my information. John Martin, the Wedge Live, and Taylor Dowling is her last name.
Yeah.
To me, they're really informative. They're not, to me, they're partisan. They're not left. They're not right. They're just straight down the middle. And I don't agree with everything, but to me, it's like, if you look at, besides the Omar Fattah stuff with them, it's truthful. You know what I'm saying? It's not, I don't know, maybe other people read it differently or whatever, but in my eyes, it feels like it's the same thing with Troy Peterson. It's like straight down the middle, and it's not left, it's not right. They just want the truth. They just want,
right.
I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I just saw Mayor Fry on Sunday. He came to church.
Okay.
And I had an opportunity, to speak with him again. Is he exactly what Minneapolis needs? No.
Right.
But will he be the stopgap? Because here's my thought. You let me know what you think. If we can get Jazz Hamilton, if we can work with him for the next 4 years, what do you think that? And we run him in 4 years.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think, to be honest, I don't have a problem with Jazz. You know what I'm saying? Like, beyond what they're doing right now, I think that's good. I don't know how much it benefits him. But I do think that in the next 4 years, he can be, if people got behind him, because to be honest, in my eyes, he's not a Democrat. He's not, I know he wanted I think the DFL endorsement or whatever,
Right,
but
right.
the same thing with like Marvina. I don't really,
No,
that I be
no.
trying to get away from that Democratic, because I know what they, you know what I'm saying?
She's aligned her. I love me some Marvina.
Right.
She'll tell you I've helped her in many ways than anybody would ever know.
Right.
I am a Marvina fan,
But who
but
she's aligned.
I cannot support her because she linked herself with Jason and Fatat. I
Right.
cannot. The minute she did that, I had to let her. I had to walk away from her.
And I get that. You know what I'm saying? I totally understand that. And to come from a political side in North Minneapolis, I think she had to go that way. If Marvina wanted any chance of winning Ward 4, she had to go behind Omar and Jason, because that is the social Robin. She has to go with all of them, because
Yeah,
if you want to win in that election, you have to go, because we already know Vital's Frey. So
yeah.
if Frey wins the election, I can pretty much guarantee that Vital will win. But if Omar wins, I can guarantee pretty much that I think Marvina will win War 4 too.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, then I'm gonna have to say that I hope she don't win.
All right.
I
Oh no,
like
I
her.
mean,
I like everything that she does. Yeah.
Right.
But I just cannot right now wrap my head around seeing Minneapolis go down and become a socialist movement. Because see, here's the reason what I say. There's too many, like Robin, an
Right.
activist. Jason,
Yeah.
an activist. Fatat,
Yeah.
an activist.
Right.
Right? Marvina, an activist. There's too many activists on that city council for any real business to get done, because an activist does what? Thinks with their head and not for the heart of everybody. They only thinks about what? Okay, let's find a way to get rid of the police, because let's blame the police for everything. Now, don't get me wrong. The Minneapolis police, I've seen it, you've seen it, you've heard it, you've dealt with it, I've dealt with it. The Minneapolis police have done some foul ass things. We both know that. But to get rid of the police? Come on, man. Come on.
And that's the crazy thing of it is that I think it's going to take Omar and the rest of the socialists, because that's who really runs Minneapolis. It's not the DFL. I'll be honest with that. It's DSA, because I'll tell you like this, that Ward 8 will be DSA. That'll be Soren or whatever his name is. Aisha will win again. Katie Cashman will probably win again. And Audrin. Then you got Jamal Osman. You probably have 10 people on that council that are socialist, and then 3 that'll go just vote the other way. But I'm telling you right now, what's coming in, Minneapolis is going to be a hellhole if the election goes the way that a lot of people think that it'll go.
Yeah. And the sad part about it is our people are going to be the one that's going to pay the price.
Right. No,
right?
and it is.
Because this is what's going to happen. And like I say, tonight, you can get mad at me if you want to. You can cut this up any way you want to. You can put me on blast if you want to. But I know this here for a fact. Because when the whole time Fatsat was up at the Capitol, he did for his people.
Right.
Period, point blank. There was nobody in North Minneapolis to do for our people. Nobody. You can say what you want about Bobby Champion, but Bobby knows Bobby could have done a lot more for North Minneapolis. Bobby could have done the same thing he did for Todd was doing for his people. Bobby should have been doing, and he wasn't doing it.
No.
So if he gets that mayor's seat, it's gonna be ugly, and we're gonna be left out. Forget being in the back of the bus. They're
Right.
talking about pushing us out the door.
Right.
Both socialists, both white liberals, and the Somalis. Period, point blank. That is the truth. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. And the sad part about it is we as black folks, because we ain't got up and did the things we were supposed to do, we would let them push us out that bus at 60 miles an hour, lay on the road, and swear to God it was white supremacy.
Right.
Knowing that it was the liberal, it was a white liberal, and these socialists that's coming into office right now. But we will turn around and point the finger. Because the minute something happens, we're going to be out in the streets marching.
Right.
Guarantee you.
And to me, it's like they're doing the same thing that they do with Anaya, Trinity, but differently because they came over to North Minneapolis, Moms Demand Action, whatever they're called in the red shirts. They came over there. They did a protest or took over the streets. They did a caravan with me and Gemini years ago. That's when I had met, I can't remember the black reporter's name, Reggie, I think his name is. But it's like they only come around when they need votes. And right now it's like they have the people because they got the eyes on them. But I'm telling you right now, I honestly feel like with those testimonies this morning and then what's coming Wednesday, I honestly feel like you're going to see a Republican or two who aren't Republicans are going to end up voting that way because they're going to be scared.
That would mark the death of their campaign of them being in office. If a Republican flip in any way, shape, or form, if I put it this way, if a Republican was to go on TV or make a statement in any way, shape, or form, saying that they would get behind any type of bill, especially if it's talking about banning something, you better believe they are done in the state of Minnesota. I like I say, man, I understand what you're saying. And I watched that. I watched that too. And I was one of those people who sat there and said, wow, when these parents was up there crying. But then I got to remember what happened in Florida when them kids got shot and them kids. Look, I was in Texas when the Valdez thing happened. When them kids, I was in Texas at my in San Antonio, Texas, at my my wife's brother house. We went down there for a week when that whole thing was going down, and they were all over the news. Parents bawling, dude. I mean, literally falling out, bawling. It was worse. That situation was worse than what we saw today on TV.
Damn.
And nobody did nothing.
Well, even listen, because I know one of the testifiers was testifying, and she said that she had moved from Nashville because she went through a shooting down there, and she didn't want to be like that. But I can guarantee you, Minnesota maybe might do something, but if they might not do something, it won't be done because I'll tell you right now is that, Minnesota is definitely not going to go red. I can guarantee.
Oh, it's not. No, but they had the trifecta, Chad.
Right.
And any bill they wanted any bill that the Democrats wanted to pass, they had every chance to do it. And I'm going to tell you why they didn't do it. Because them Democrats up north, where guns, these farmers and everybody are using these guns that needs these guns. Those Democrats were like, if you say something, if you guys pass a harsh bill, I would lose my seat. And they know it. Democrats know this. These boys up north, these Democrats up north who have these seats know for a fact that if they pass a ban bill here in Minnesota, that seat will turn red. They know that.
I'm going to go a little bit different, right? Because this is my opinion, is that I think our population is going more liberal and free thinking than it is going the other way, is because, you know, I think, and this is just me, my opinion, is that I see a lot of black men, you know, I see like D.A. Bullock, or I see Eliza, fluent black males, right? But I always see them pushing that liberal mindset instead of that conservative mindset. And then I always wonder why. But then you have to look at it. If you push a conservative mindset, especially in Minneapolis, you're not getting anywhere. But if you push a liberal, you know what I'm saying, a mindset, that's the whole thing with gay marriage. It's the same thing with the trans. It's the same thing with they're comparing the boys and girls bathroom to a white and colored only water fountains. You know what I'm saying? That's why one thing that I'd say I can agree with Charlie Kirk on is that the Civil Rights Bill turned us into not a dream, but a nightmare for the black community.
Oh, it did. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Let me say something, since you brought it up and you said that. I understand what he was saying when he said that. I get it. The problem is how he says it.
Right.
It's what the problem was in the black community. See, what people don't understand is this. Let's take us Thomas Sowell. I got into it on Facebook with some people about Thomas Sowell. A lot of black people just don't do Thomas Sowell, because Thomas Sowell is supposed to be a man about economics. He's supposed to be speaking science. He's not out here supposed to be telling white people, black people's business.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. What people don't realize, what Charlie Kirk did was this. Smart, but he did it. People can say what they want to me. I don't care. Charlie Kirk got Candace Owens, which he did, to run buffer for him. Candace Owens came in to Turning Point USA. She was the black mouthpiece, correct?
Right.
I'll show you a picture of me standing in front of Candace Owens, downtown Minneapolis, and I told Candace Owens, the very black people you're talking about, I'm going to need you to come to Minneapolis and walk the streets with me. And I want you to shake their hands. And I want you to talk to those black people that you're in these rooms with these white people talking about. That's how Candace Owens made her money.
Right.
And he used her to open up that buffer, because remember, before Candace, you did not hear him talking the way he talked about black women. You didn't hear him talking the way he talked about the black community, about black men, about black crime. You didn't hear that. After Candace Owens opened the door and moved that buffer for him, he went in. I don't care if you talk about the black community. I care if you come into the black community and do the work. Now, I talk about the black community. You talk about the black community because we do the work.
Right.
We got a right. But you cannot talk about the black community. You can't put us down. You can't talk about our black females. You can't talk about men. If you're not doing the work. Now, if he would have came here to Minneapolis, I'm sure he came here, and he would have like, hey, Rev, what can I do to help you out? I understand you're out here and you helping these people. You're doing this, you're doing that. What can I do to help you out? Say what you want, because I know you're putting your time into the community. You don't even know. It's just like AK Kamara.
Right.
That's why I get on AK. Your ass ain't nowhere near the damn community. Shut the hell up. Anytime he talks about the black community, that's why I get on him. I'm not doing it to be mean. But if you're going to talk about the community, bring your ass to the community. Don't talk about my community when your ass is nowhere near it. You don't know nothing about it. You have nothing to do with our community. Nothing. But you're going to go on somebody's show, or you're going to get on your little show, and then you're going to say something about. That's why I get in his ass. That's why I get it. If you got some clout and you can help us, then come down and help us. But if all these things you're going to do is talk about these talking points, boy, you better get your ass up the street, because if I see you, I will smack your ass. I'm not kidding. Shut the hell up.
I told him that too myself. You know
Shut up.
I hate that. It's like, especially right now with what's going on between Angela and John Justice. It's like he throws AK in there, and it's like,
yeah.
Well, so what? You throw AK in there. You got one black friend, AK and Walter. You know what I'm saying? It's like that. I don't give a fuck about them, because they can't even go into the black community. So I don't give a fuck about them. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm at the point right now where I feel like a lot of people that I came into this with, that I felt like were family and friends, over the years, I'm getting a hard wake up. It's been a hard lesson, because even people that I felt like were actually, for black people, weren't actually for black people, even though they weren't getting money, or they were actually out here trying to, but then come to find out, like, when the politics, they cared more about where they could be and not where they should be.
That's right. And that, I'm glad you said that. And that's what the problem is. And even in our community, when we got people coming at us for the things that we say. But I always say, right? If you prove me wrong, you will shut me up. The problem is, anything that I say can't prove me wrong. I don't say it to be rude. You don't say it to be rude. I hear when I'm watching your show, I'm like, bingo. You don't say it to be rude. You say it because it's trying to wake somebody up, especially people in our community. I'm just trying to shake, you know what I mean?
Right. And that's like, even like right now, Charleston White is getting beat up, not because he was talking crap about George Floyd this time, but because he was talking about Charlie Kirk. And he came, my thing of it is, he could talk about George. He could talk about all these little RICO cases with the gangbangers and the smoking on the Tuka packs and all that. But the minute you start talking about a white boy, it's over with, because they're going to look at you in a different light. And that's exactly what's happening.
It's the same thing with Candace, though. They was loving Candace when she was kicking us. They loved it. They made this woman rich because she was kicking down on the black community. All of a sudden, she changed her tune. She started going to the Breakfast Club. She started doing Joe Budden, right? All these black places she started going. Oh, they don't like her no more.
Right.
Same thing with him. As long as he was running around talking, like you said, talking about black people, putting black people down. Charleston White was the hit of the, but all of a sudden, he starts saying what he's saying now. Look, I say it all the time. It's just like Larry Elders. Everybody loved Larry Elders.
Right.
I don't care what the hell Larry Elders say. It's, what are you doing for the community? Right? They got this one African looking dude. I don't know if you ever seen him. I don't know. I forgot his name, but literally looked like an African. Got the dreads. He always talking about the black community. They love this dude. He's pretty big on Twitter. They love him to death. And he always talking about, but he never says what he's doing for the black community. If you ain't doing nothing, shut the hell up.
Talking about, I can't think of his name right now.
He's got dreads. They love him. I mean, he's huge. Right. They follow him. They follow him like the Pied Piper. He ain't even black. He's an African. Right.
He's an African. The same thing with Kai Cenat.
Just like the same thing. Well, I kind of like Kai a little bit.
I do too, but I'm gonna tell you like this, I like Kai too, but
Him and
he's not
what is it, ISO Speed?
black kind of black. Right. ISO Speed's not us either.
Yeah,
These people, they're Kai Cenat's parents are like the same thing like Rihanna and them. They're from like the Dominican Republic and the Trinidad and all them. They're not American black. I'm not saying nothing against them.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what is like gets on me because people like to lift up them and then make them, you know what I'm saying? But then leave everybody else behind. And that's why I feel like even when you look in the community, it's like people have been injustices done wrong to them, but instead of speaking up, they take the money and be silent because they've signed NDAs or, you know, they don't want to bite the hand that's fed them.
Yeah. No, that's true. But the like I said, the Democrats are putting out these fake bills and knowing nothing, first off, like I said, nothing's going to happen. Right. Number one. Number two, they're going to try to use it to shame the Republicans. All these babies got shot and killed. But again, we go back to the community and say, where were you? Right? Where was all of this when the black kids were getting shot in the street?
Right.
Where were you? You mentioned Moms Demand and Protect Minnesota. 2 Trojan horses. Right. People pull them into the black community, and those 2 rob the community. They came in with these lies talking about the broken window syndrome. They got all this money from that. They got all this money from planting trees and putting in gardens. They took that money and gave it to the Democrats. And the Democrats passed legislation for the white child that was committing suicide. That's what all of that stuff that they did when they had the trifecta was for that. None of that had anything to do with one black child that died on the streets. Just right?
I'll even say it like this. I think the policies over the years, because I can tell you like this, I don't know how many families that I've talked to that have children in 4th, 5th, 6th grade, and some of them can't read, some of them can't write, but yet they keep on passing them on. So how can we expect our communities to actually do better if our education systems aren't? Because I will tell you like this, is that if you look at the education system in Minnesota and look at the white schools and then look at the schools in the poor communities, and you can tell a big difference. And then the charter schools is even in North Minneapolis, Harvest Best ain't nothing but, they don't hire nothing but sexual predators over there.
Yeah, that dude. I ain't even gonna touch him. I'm gonna leave him alone.
Right. But it ain't just that, you know, it just
a brother at that. That's what hurt my heart. That's what hurt my heart.
That's what it just drives me crazy, because it's like, you know, it's always there for the better, but then there's always some extra shit that comes along with it. Even when all of our programs in Minneapolis, they always come with some extra shit. Either the directors are hitting on the kids or doing favors for the women so they can have, you know, put money in their pocket or whatever, but actually it's, you know, sexual favors, and it's like all this is just sick.
Yeah, that kind of was like, wow. Once they showed his picture, I was like, really, come on, man. I'm like the Ohio. Who is it? The Utah. I was like the Utah governor, who said he was hoping it wasn't one of them.
You know what's crazy is a couple of years ago, I think it was 2022, is Charlie went really hard at him.
Really?
Yes, in 2020. If you look at put in the tweets of Charlie's against the Utah governor, he talked really bad about dude and said that he wasn't even a Republican, but he was a Republican in name only.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And like I said, Charlie had some good he had some. Don't get me wrong. Like I said before, he had good things to say. Just like you said, when it came to him clearing up the whole situation with the civil rights thing.
Right.
I get it. I think a lot of people get it when it came to him. I get it. I listened to the dude, right?
I did.
But like I said, the problem that a lot of people are having, if you're gonna step on me, do something for me. Pick me up. Don't step on me, make all the money and put the money in your pocket and just keep walking. Don't do that. If you're gonna step on me, come back and say, hey, I stepped on you. Now I want to put my hand out and I want to help you up. He did not do that.
Right.
And that's why a lot of these black pastors are railing against him right now. He had the money. If this dude is worth $12 million, you can't tell me that Charlie couldn't call me up and say, Rev, I got $50,000 for you right now that I got to write off on my taxes, but I got $50,000 for you. I know you do good work. Here is $50,000. Go make something happen. Didn't do that. Didn't do that. So that's what white people don't understand. It's not like with Candace Owens. It's not the point that people were pissed that she was saying. You got every right to say what you want. But it's funny that they wasn't talking about the pedophilia in the white community. They wasn't talking about the suicide rates for the white kids in the white community. They wasn't talking about these white kids that go downtown to buy hard drugs from our kids. They don't talk about that.
No,
it's always the 13%. It's always the black fathers. Talk about your community every once in a while.
That Grungen, I think is his name. The last speaker this morning was Grungen, and he was trying to talk about mental illness and not, so much about gun control. And I seen how they tried to quiet him, and it's like, damn, let him get it out, because it's about, it's not that he's up here lying.
Yeah.
He's up here telling the truth. And he might be from Glencoe or some little white ass area, but that really matters in ours because we don't have the mental health resources or services that we used to. And that is big in our area. That is something huge.
Yeah. And if Republicans can open that door, then that also opens that door up for us. And I don't understand. Right. And here's the thing that gets me about the Republicans, right? They could have easily said, that's what we're going to go on, right? We're going to go on the mental health issues about this here gun control and things of that sort. Charlie Kirk could have done the same thing, right? Charlie Kirk could have said, okay, I'm going to talk about the black community. Let's talk about the mental health that we have. Some of these kids are traumatized. They're laying in their bed, right? The guns are going off. Don't you think that traumatized black kids? Don't you think they needed mental health? All their kids dying, them seeing their kids die, that psyche. Charlie Kirk could have easily stepped in and realized that. Those are the things that I'm talking about. Walter Hudson. Right now, instead of him out here fanning the flame, doing the stupid things that he's doing right now, Walter Hudson could do that. The Republican Party right here in Minnesota could do something. They could talk about these things, Chaz.
No, and you're right. And then you even look about, the mental health, conversion therapy. They were talking about that a little bit as came up. And we started doing the band conversion therapy back in 2019, 2020, because I remember when George Floyd happened, is that Red Wing, when I started paying attention to politics, Red Wing was actually doing something about banning conversion therapy. And I'm like, oh, well, that's a good thing. But now I'm seeing it and having more conversations and understanding about the whole gender dysphoria, whatever you want to call it, I guess, and understanding that if people can't talk about the feelings that they're having inside and how they're feeling about what they want to be, if you can't talk about that, what are you supposed to do? And I feel like that's where we've come as a country, is that so many people feel like they can't be open about who they are. So we have reactions like what we're seeing.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm glad. I'm glad that they opened that door, because
Right.
we do have a problem in the community that we don't talk about, right? We don't talk about it. Just like you said, Bobby Champion could have easily got up there and championed that and piggyback off of the Republicans when they're
Right.
talking about mental illness, because that's what the problem. Like I said, we got kids that will shoot each other. To me, that's a mental illness. If you pull a gun, I've only had to pull my firearm. Oh,
It's my cat.
oh, okay.
Oh, come on. That's why I like to pull, my bad. Crazy. Cat. My bad.
No problem. I've only had to pull my firearm a handful of times because I thought I really was going to use it. Think about the black kid who literally pulls that gun and he shoots somebody. What type of mind he has to have to do that? And if we're not working on these young minds, then there's a problem. We have a problem.
Right.
So we need somebody that, if the Republicans are going to use this and say mental health, we need to work on we need somebody on our side, man, up there talking with them, going, they're right.
And I even think about this is that the prime example would be Amir Atkins' parents. You know, their 11-year-old child dying. He was in a stolen car, and maybe he had a gun, maybe he didn't. I don't know the whole story.
Yeah.
You know, they say he was reaching out with a gun or whatever. But that just shows you that they use self-defense in ways that possibly could. Man, let me take that back, because I don't actually know if it was self-defense or not. But the way that I've heard the story is I don't believe that could have been self-defense, because how are you scared of an 11-year-old who's carrying? That's not self-defense to me. So I know people are gonna, in the black community, be like, oh, well, whatever. But you know, we have to be accountable for our actions, and sometimes people aren't, because they're either we're soft on them because they're juveniles, or because we think like their brain isn't developed.
Right. Yeah. What do we do, man? What do we do?
I don't know what to do, because you have these conversations and you start talking about trans, or you start talking about, the gender dysphoria, and people get all hell bent. And it's like, no, we just need to have conversations, because there is people out there who are trans and don't know if they're a man or a woman. And that's okay. That's not, to me, that's not something to be scared about. I think we should actually have conversations so that we can learn, because once we learn, we do better.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done. So, but I like I said, I see more that can come out of them working together and dealing with the mental part of this versus banning guns. I just cannot. I mean, if they want to give me $5,000 for mine, I'll be more than happy to turn it over. I've got a stack of medical bills about this high that needs to get paid off. So if they want to give me $5,000 for mine, I may think about turning it over. I have no problem. I have no problem with that, because I'll turn around and take $1,000 and then go buy me another.
Right.
That's simple. That is simple math right there. Be like, why not? But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see how all of this stuff is going to be playing out. This is going to be a wild year, man. This year is going to be wild, I think.
Well, I think 2026 could even be wilder, depending on November elections. So
Right. Yeah, yeah, that's true. If we can get the right people in office. Like I said,
right,
if we can get the right people in office, I think we may be okay. I think we may be able to ride this storm until the next go around, and then we'll have to sit back and see what happens after that, man.
right. No, and I do think we need to at least sit back to November 6th or 7th, whenever it is, to see how the
Right.
election goes, because how that goes in Minneapolis, I think, should really depend on how we go out here in the streets too. Because if it's Omar that wins, we really need to be out here, because I think the whole state depends on it at that point.
Yeah. Hey, well, we got to get more people. Well, right now, like I said, we got. I don't think right now they are really counting the black vote when it comes to Fry. I really don't, because they got him at like 34%. I think it's much higher than that, and I think they're sitting back wondering if black people are going to show up to vote, and that's our problem, right? We don't show up to vote, and then we bitch and moan about some of everything.
No, that's right. You're right. We do. We get on social media apps, and that I think that's the big thing of it, was that people do want to be out there making change, and because people may not have the cleanest background or the cleanest history, they feel like they're already a lost cause, and when actually they're really not. And I think that is the biggest problem when it comes to the Republican Party, is there's a big faction of people out here that don't want to be Democrats anymore, don't even want to vote Democrat, but really feel like they don't have a choice, because either there is no really good Republican candidate, or that's all they have is either the lesser of two evils. And that's what Minneapolis has right now, to be honest.
Got a point.
That's what it really comes down to, the lesser of two evils. And I'm not saying that Laverne is an evil or whatever, but I'm saying that between Frey and Omar, Frey is the lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
That's just being honest.
And even when it comes to Laverne, I think where Laverne hurt himself is when he hooked up with Lacey.
Right.
People ain't forgot about that, man. They haven't. They have not forgot about, because, like I said, I at least I gave him enough recognition and respect to bring him up when I'm talking. When I talk, I do bring him up, and they ain't forgot about Lacey.
Right.
He can say he's independent all he want.
Right. No, and I hear you, because I think when it comes to Lacey, he got all that money in 2020 to go up against Omar, which was almost $20 million he grabbed, and it still didn't win no election.
Yeah.
I mean, he 18. Wait, let me see. Now it wasn't 18, but I think it was like $12 million more than she did, and it's like he still got whooped. I mean, money doesn't mean anything in that ward, in that congressional district 5, because it doesn't mean money don't get you votes.
That's right. So that's So when it, like I said, when it comes to him, like I say, I spoke to him and let him know, hey, dude, I brought you up. At least I gave you, some consideration. But like I said, Lacey, him hooking himself up with Lacey, and people feeling the way they do in that community about Lacey.
Right.
Just that's gonna be a fence that if he don't turn Democrat.
No, and I feel you, and that's the sad part about Minneapolis, is that you have to go between two Democrats to be any kind of help, and you already know that ain't no help at all. But if one Democrat wins, it'll be worse than if the other one wins.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, bro, hey, we're way back, we're way over, and that's cool. We didn't get on till late anyway. So, but I appreciate you, man, for hanging out. As soon as I saw you, I was like, dude, what are you doing over there? You should be right here in there. But
Jump in real quick.
But hey, people, if y'all don't know who this is, like I said, this is the Urban Conservative. If you're not following him and listening to some of the things he do, he has a larger take a lot of times on a lot of things that we just talked about. A good follow. So please, y'all, follow him. Listen to some of the things that he say. If you want to know a lot of things that go on, and I get a lot of my information from him. A lot of times, if I don't see it, I don't hear it, I'll hit him up. And he usually gives me the backstory on it, give me the opportunity to find things. But hey, man, again, I appreciate you. You want to say anything going out?
Man, I'd say everything Monday through Friday, man. I'm good. This is your time, and I just appreciate you for bringing me on, man. You have a good one.
Yes, sir. You tell the wifey I said hi, and y'all have a good one. And hey, we'll talk to you soon, bro.
All right, man.
Appreciate you. Bye now. Hey, people, appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. Thank you very much. We'll be back on Wednesday and Friday. We'll get back into the rotation. Like I said, I was on a quest, and I wasn't giving up until I got that quest finished. We did find her. We just got to get some resources and things together, and I've got to try to find something for her and see if this here sorry ass of an administration we have here, Tim Walz, Peggy, and everybody else, if they're willing to help Minnesotans, true Minnesotans. You take that any way you want to. Like I said before, I'm not messing around tonight. I'm hot. I'm pissed off that we have people like this that feels that they are this down in the dumps, that this system should be able to help these people. And again, these are Democrats. But I'm also pissed at the Republican Party because they're the ones that are always talking about pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Well, as you can see, there's some people that cannot do that. And because they don't have compassion, that's the problem with the Republican Party. That's why people don't vote for them. There's zero compassion for people like this. At the end of the day, no ifs, no ands, no buts. You can say what you want. I can prove you wrong any day of the week. Because I do this. This is what I do. I'm around these people. I deal with these people. I ask who helps you, who have been there for you, who have tried to help you, it's never a Republican. And they're the first one that always sit there and say that they do this more than this. No, it's not. People, like I said before, don't just read your Bible. Do what it says. Don't read your Bible and then run out and, oh, look at me, I'm a Christian. No, you're not a Christian if you're not doing what the Bible says. Just because you read the book don't mean nothing. That lady that was at the well, that Jesus told her, if she would have just went back to the village and sat on her hands, that village would have never changed. If Jesus would have told her and she saw the light, she saw it, and she went back, if she would have went back to that village and sat on her hands and never told no one her story, never done what the Bible, what she was intended to do. But she didn't do that. She got the word and went out and proclaimed the word. When you get the word, if you read your Bible and that Bible don't put something inside you to say, I need to go do, then you're reading the wrong Bible. You're reading the wrong Bible. I don't know what Bible you're reading, but it's not the Bible that you think it is. That Bible, you read that Bible, and as you sit there and you maturate on that Bible should make you want to get up and be. just like the woman at the well. That woman got up and said, I got to go tell everybody about this man that I met who told me all about my life. I've got to I've got to prophesy to everybody on here. See, but a lot of us like to be them dry bones. Y'all know about the dry bones, right? A lot of us like to be those dry bones that's in the desert that Ezekiel went and prophesied over. And all of a sudden, those dry bones came to life. Them dry bones got up and got tendons on them. Those dry bones went from dry to wet a little bit. The dry bones that were in the desert, all of a sudden got sinew and skin on it. Them dry bones came together. The leg bone was connected to the knee bone. The knee bone went down and got a foot. The foot put together with the legs was connected to the hip bone. The hip bone found the skeleton and got on it, The rib cage came together. What I'm telling you, when you read the Bible, all of your parts should start moving a little bit. They want to start doing something. They want to start making things better. They want to start seeing things better. We just went through a situation where somebody decided that they're going to go out and talk about something and tell people about something and make people mad and make things better, but they never did anything about the situation that they talked about. If that's who you are, you're part of the problem. But if you're going to call yourself a Christian, if you're going to be of a Christian, your bones should never be dry. Ever. Ever. I'm just saying. Some parts of that book should make you want to elevate yourself. Some parts of that book should make you want to elevate yourself. Think about the woman with the issue of blood. That woman realized that man right there, that man, if I could touch the hem of his garment, I can elevate myself out of this here hole that I've been in. For 12 years, I've had an issue. I'm tired of that issue. I'm tired of going through it. I'm tired of being tired. What I need to do is I need to touch the hem of his garment. She didn't care who was in her way. The Bible said that there was crowds all around him. But this woman said, I'm tired of being who I am. I'm tired of feeling the way that I feel. I'm going to level myself up. This woman reached out, touched the hem of his garment. And the minute she touched the hem of his garment, her issue was done. He said, who touched me? All these people around, who touched me? Because he realized that something inside of him went into this woman, and she leveled up. You should want to level up. Level up. So when you read this book, what do I do with my book? It's around here somewhere. When you read that book, you should want to level up. Don't stay the same. Don't walk around the same. Don't talk the same. Don't act the same. Don't be the same. The same language should never come out your mouth. Ever. Period, point blank. Let's end the night like we always end the night, understanding and realizing that we serve a God, a mighty God, an unbelievable God, a God that no matter what you do, how you do it, when you do it, God will turn things around. I always say things I used to do, I don't do no more. Places I used to go, I don't go no more. Friends that I had back then, I don't even have those friends no more. I decided to level up. And when I decided to level up, I decided that other people around me, even if they're down here, I'm going to bring them with me. I'm going to level up with me. That's what we need to do. And this is the part that I always sit here and say, if we come together, and if we do what the book says, not what the politician says, and we level everybody up together, we would be better. We would be better. But see, The problem with us is we listen to them sick-ass politicians. Got one right now running all over Twitter, causing trouble. Causing trouble is what he's doing. And he calls himself a Christian. He ain't leveled up. He's leveling down right now. And that's not what we need, people. We don't need to listen to people like that. Period, point blank. I want everybody on the same level. I want everybody riding this thing with us. Because I don't know about you, but when I'm done, I want him to say, well done, my faithful servant. That's all I need. Well done, my faithful servant. That's it. I don't know about you. I don't know how you plan on getting there. But I'm using the Bible and what the Bible says to get me there. Because I totally believe that he drug a rugged cross all the way up on Calvary Hill and laid there. I believe that they put nails in him. He had 72 thorns on top of his head, dimples from on top of his head. I believe that. I believe that when he died, the earth shook. I believe the curtains ripped in the church. I believe darkness was all over. I believe he gave up his last breath. They took him down and put him in a borrowed tomb. I believe that. I believe that when he got up with all power in his hand. That when you and I are the sinners that we are, he took that. Ain't nobody out there right now under the sound of my voice would have done what Jesus has done for each and every one of us. Nobody. Nobody. Because I know I wouldn't have done it. Y'all been like, Rev, would you die for me? Nope. But Jesus will. Jesus will. And he did that. So what I'm saying is, once you give your heart, your mind, your spirit, and your soul over to him, no matter what somebody did here, you're going to forgive them. You're going to forgive them. Now, I said, I listened to Charlie. I didn't agree with, I listened to Charles. I didn't agree with everything the dude said. I don't believe in somebody taking somebody's life. And whatever he said, he's definitely has been forgiven. He was a baptized Christian. Period, point blank. Period, point blank. Period, point blank. So let us move forward from this here. Let us understand that we need to come together as a people. Let us understand that we are more powerful as a people. See, one of the things that I've realized by doing this work is the poor blacks and the poor whites, the middle class blacks and the middle class whites, we got more in common than y'all would ever. If you have never been in a room with somebody who don't look like you and just sit down and have a conversation with them, I suggest you do that. And you'll understand what I'm saying when I say we got more in common than we do apart. But this is what they do. What was his name? Johnson said, if you can teach the poorest white man that somebody black is taken out of his pocket, y'all know what I'm talking about. If I'm poor and you're poor, we're poor together. Period, point blank. I ain't got it and you ain't got it. And we just don't see things like that. We don't understand like that. It's like my stepfather. My stepfather, for those who don't know, and I'll post his picture. My stepfather came into my life when I was 9 years old. My stepfather is from Boise, Idaho. My stepfather is a white man. Him and my mother have been married for 50 years. And they're still together this day. A white man. My dad is as white as Charlie Kirk. My stepdad. That's who raised me. That's the truth. I'll post this picture for you. But his mindset had always been, that you're better than someone who's out there that feels that they're better than you. So don't act like he would say, don't leave my house acting like an asshole, because you're better than that. So I've always lived my life of understanding that, again, you're poor, I'm poor. You ain't better than I am, and I'm not better than you. But if we pull together, we're better off that way. Don't matter what your color is, don't matter what your race is, but if we pull together, we'll be better that way. See, but I don't have people that think like that. I got people who believe these politicians when they lie to you. Those are the people that I see. They believe these lying-ass politicians. That's why we're still in the situation that we're in. Anyway, fam, y'all have a good day. Understand and realize again that God is God, and God is always going to be God. He's a good God. And no matter what you do, God will be there by your side. He said it. He made the promise. I'll never leave you, and I will never forsake you. That's what he said. That's what he said. And God has never went back on a promise. And for that reason alone, that should put a smile on your face. And y'all know what we do with those smiles. We go out and we smile at somebody, so somebody smile back at you. Peace, fam. I'm out. Appreciate you guys for hanging out. Y'all have a good night. Peace.